On our wedding anniversary, I held my prenatal test results, waiting for my husband in the cold wind at the skyline for 10 hours. The food had been reheated 99 times, but Daniel still hadn't shown up. He, a germaphobe, saw the message I sent and replied with disgust. Gross. Is outside food even safe to eat? It's so dirty. Just then, a social media post popped up. Daniel's female friend had posted a photo. Daniel, usually an extreme germaphobe, was scrubbing a woman's underwear stained with blood with his bare hands. The caption read, "No amount of hot water compares to Daniel personally washing my underwear." So warm and reassuring I laughed bitterly, liking and commenting in one smooth motion. Wishing you 99 years together. A truly perfect couple. Shoving the prenatal test results into my bag, I applied on the official website for a volunteer teaching program in a rural town, never to return. As for Daniel, that germaphobic cheater, whoever wants him can have him. Less than 30 seconds after hanging up, Daniel called back immediately. Evelyn, what the hell are you doing? Causing a scene in the middle of the night? Do you know my phone is practically blowing up with calls from my friends? Being passive-aggressive with those comments on Chloe's social media post. Are you out of your mind? He probably expected a hysterical confrontation, but I couldn't be bothered to argue. I didn't care anymore anyway, but he wouldn't let it go on the other end of the line. Cat got your tongue? Chloe had heavy bleeding in the middle of the night. She was terrified. That's why I went to her home to help her clean up. Heavy bleeding? Clean up? Had he forgotten I was still waiting for him in the cold wind? I touched my burning forehead and gave a bitter laugh. I have a fever. If you still want to be with Chloe, then don't ever come home again. Only then did he sound a little flustered on the other end. Wait for me. I'm coming home right away. Hanging up the phone, I threw all the leftover food into the trash and went home, feeling groggy, and lay down on the bed. Evelyn, don't sleep. You seem to have a fever. In a blur, I saw Daniel looking worried. He sprayed his hands with alcohol, then placed one on my forehead. Let's go. I'll take you to the hospital. Feeling my burning skin, he carried me on his back and rushed out. His anxiety didn't seem faked, but just as he was about to get into the car, he suddenly stopped me and disinfected my car seat separately. Evelyn, you know I'm a germaphobe. You're just covered in germs. After saying that, he turned around and sprayed me from head to toe with alcohol. The pungent alcohol mist descended, suffocating me and making my head feel even more dizzier and sicker. Cough, cough. Daniel, my brows furrowed as I swatted at the spray bottle in his hand. I have a fever. What are you being so particular about? Also, don't you know, I'm already preg. I started to tell him about the pregnancy, but before I could finish my sentence, his phone suddenly rang with Chloe's custom ringtone. Daniel immediately answered the phone. Her anxious, tearful voice came through. What do I do? Daniel, I'm having heavy bleeding again and my stomach hurts like hell. Can you quickly bring me some overnight sanitary pads? You know my size. I'll call you an ambulance. His brow furrowed as he spoke, lowering his voice to soothe her. No, an ambulance is too slow. Wait for me. I'll be right there. Don't be scared. But the next second, the car suddenly braked hard. I instinctively shielded my stomach, but Daniel looked at me, utterly at a loss. I'm sorry, Evelyn. I have to go check on her first. A sudden surge of anger rose in my heart. I stared into Daniel's eyes, speaking word by word. Daniel, I have a fever. I know. The hospital is right up ahead. You can walk the rest of the way. I'll come back to pick you up later. Forced out of the car, watching the speeding car's silhouette disappear, I laughed a bitter, self-deprecating laugh. I should have understood long ago. As long as Chloe was an option, I would always be the backup. The next second, torrential rain poured down, and salty rainwater flooded my nose and mouth. I shivered uncontrollably. It felt like a fire was burning inside me, yet my body was endlessly cold. My stomach suddenly cramped without warning. My heart clenched, but as if I couldn't feel the pain, I stumbled through the rain and rushed into the hospital. GYN's doctor's coat. I spoke with determination. Please, I want an abortion. I woke up the next day, my body aching, my face even paler, but there wasn't even a single message from Daniel on my phone. When we first started dating, he was completely devoted to me. If I was away from him for more than half an hour, he would bombard me with texts. But now, because of this female friend, Daniel had changed. Well, it didn't matter anymore. Dragging my exhausted body, I went home, but as soon as I opened the door, I heard laughter coming from the master bedroom. It was Chloe. "What are you doing?" Leaning against the wall, I struggled to move my body, feeling as if all my strength was draining away. I saw Chloe, wearing my pajamas, wrestling playfully with Daniel on the master bedroom bed, a chilling glint in my eyes. I spoke in a hoarse voice, "Chloe, do you really want to be my replacement so badly?" Chloe panicked instantly, her eyes suddenly turning red. "Evelyn, Daniel and I aren't doing anything. Please don't misunderstand." Daniel's eyes flashed with guilt, but then he snapped angrily. "Why are you yelling at Chloe? We're completely innocent. Unlike you, who didn't come home all night, and you deliberately made yourself look so disheveled. Don't you know I'm a germaphobe?" I lifted my eyes to coldly scan their pot, calling the kettle black act, a mocking smile appearing on my pale face. "Daniel, it was pouring rain yesterday, and you left me by the side of the road. Remember? I was at the hospital all night yesterday, waiting for you to pick me up. Did you forget that too?" Meeting my sarcastic gaze directly, Daniel's face turned pale, but he still retorted, "It was just a fever. You didn't have to stay in the hospital all night. Who are you trying to fool?" Watching frantically try to change the subject, I laughed bitterly. I went to have an Aber. I pulled out my phone, about to show him the abortion record, but suddenly interrupted. "Evelyn, are you sick? Come on, quickly lie down and rest for a bit." Then she turned to Daniel with a blaming look. "Daniel, if you think Evelyn is dirty, why don't you just disinfect her? Please don't fight." As she spoke, she handed Daniel a bottle of disinfectant. He took it and sprayed me from head to toe. The pungent smell of alcohol instantly transported me back to that cold operating table. "Daniel!" My wound throbbed in pain, and I staggered, steadying myself against the wall. "What are you yelling about again?" Daniel frowned, his eyes filled with impatient confusion. "Evelyn, you've been acting really strange lately. You wouldn't apologize. And now that you're back, you're bullying Chloe. Do you even want to continue this marriage?" "I don't want to continue it." Clutching the abortion record tightly in my phone, I gave a bitter laugh, feeling utterly drained. I had originally intended to tell him clearly about my pregnancy and abortion, but now, there was no need. I was tired. "Daniel, let's get a divorce." Hearing me mention divorce, Daniel's face instantly changed, but after a long pause, he laughed. "Just because I forgot to pick you up, you're bringing up divorce? Where else would you go without me? If I really agreed to a divorce, you'd probably go cause a scene with my parents. Don't I know your tricks?" Chloe immediately pressed against his arm, a flicker of triumph in her eyes, but she softly argued, "Evelyn, Daniel and I really don't have anything going on. Everyone knows we're childhood friends." I scoffed, glancing disdainfully at their disheveled clothes. "Oh, well, that's certainly a deep friendship." Chloe's face instantly flushed crimson. She grabbed her coat and ran out with red eyes. "I know Evelyn finds me annoying. Daniel, don't fight with her because of me. I'll just leave." Seeing run off crying, Daniel impatiently sneered at me. "Are you satisfied now? You've made everyone uncomfortable." With a bang, the door slammed shut. The last shred of support in my heart shattered into pieces. The next second, my phone chimed. My volunteer teaching program application was approved. Departing in a month. Good. It was the signal for my departure. But in the middle of the night, Daniel suddenly returned, and seemed to sit in the living room for a long time. I closed my eyes, not wanting to deal with it, but the bedroom door opened. Daniel's large hand wrapped around me from behind. The cold touch made me instinctively pull away, but he pressed close to my back and suddenly spoke. "Why didn't you tell me you were pregnant?" "Pregnant?" My heart trembled. I gritted my teeth. "I'm not pregnant." The next instant, he spread open the prenatal test results, displaying them directly in front of me. "Evelyn, I'm sorry. If I hadn't seen the prenatal test results in your bag, I wouldn't have known you'd given me such a big surprise." His voice was somewhat choked. He turned me over and hugged me tightly. "You are going to tell me this at the restaurant, right? How's your body? Is the baby okay?" "Baby?" My heart ached fiercely, looking at the man's trembling body. I felt such disgust that I didn't want to tell him the truth about the abortion. "Do you even care if it's okay?" I pushed him away forcefully. Daniel nuzzled my hair, hugging me even tighter. "This is our child. Of course I care, Evelyn. Since you don't like Chloe, I'll definitely keep my distance from her from now on and stay by your side to help you through the pregnancy. Believe me, I'll be a good husband to you and a good father to our child. But you are destined not to be a good father, and I will never need you again." In the days that followed, I tricked Daniel into signing the divorce papers and registered our divorce at City Hall Registrar, using the excuse of being busy with coursework and staying on campus. I tried to avoid meeting Daniel, but seemed to have truly settled down, no longer attending any gatherings. He also stopped frequenting any places where Chloe might be present. Whenever he had time, he learned to make soups and nutritious meals for me, researching various pregnancy recipes. He even cooked and brought meals to my school. My colleagues envied me and joked that they had never seen a husband as doting as Daniel, providing for my every need, and himself seemed to be deeply immersed in the role of a doting father. He would often touch my stomach, laughing excitedly, saying he felt the baby's kicks. Watching them laugh, I laughed along. Delayed affection is worthless. However, the night before the divorce finalization period ended, I received a call from his friend, Evelyn. "Come pick up Daniel. He's drunk and keeps calling your name." I rubbed my brow. It was time to clear some things up anyway, but when I stood outside the private VIP room, I saw a few people playing a game of I have, you don't. Chloe grabbed Daniel's hand and placed it on her chest, her face flushed with drink. "I have this. You don't." Daniel, as if refusing to be outdone, grabbed Chloe's hand and stuffed it into his pants. His friends around them cheered excitedly. Daniel leaned in and kissed Chloe. "Playtime is playtime, but don't let my wife see this. If she knew I'd been meeting Chloe this past month, she'd definitely be angry. And what if she miscarries? My mother is waiting to hold her precious grandson." Everyone burst into laughter instantly, as if I were the villain hindering their happiness. I scoffed. Liam had truly predicted it. Pulling out my phone, I filmed the entire scene. "Daniel, you brought this on yourself. I also have two hands that would love to give you a taste." After filming, I kicked open the door, delivering a slap to each of the stunned pair. Only then did Daniel sober up a little, looking at me helplessly. "Wife, we were just drunk and playing games. We wouldn't have done anything when sober. Don't be angry. Be careful of the baby in your belly." His friends also tried to intervene, but I didn't listen, just kept slapping Chloe. The commotion of the physical confrontation with the mistress attracted many onlookers. Hearing that Chloe was a mistress, people pointed and cursed her as a homewrecker, frantically filming and uploading videos. Some even recognized Chloe as a top-tier escort from a certain bar. I froze. Hearing this, Chloe truly panicked, covering her face and wailing, "I'm not a mistress." Daniel, say something, but had even less to say. The situation escalated. Chloe, furious, picked up a broken glass bottle from the floor and held it to her neck. "Daniel, they're all slandering me. I don't want to live." Blood instantly flowed everywhere, and the crowd scattered. "Chloe, don't do anything rash." Daniel, frantic, scooped up the feigning unconscious Chloe, then turned to me, his expression conflicted. "Wife, she's hurt. I have to take her to the hospital first. Please, let's talk about everything at home. Right now, it's a matter of life and death." I gave a cold, raised brow smile. "Fine, go ahead. Anyway, tomorrow, once I got the divorce certificate, our marriage would be over." Daniel froze, seemingly surprised by my quick agreement, a flicker of suspicion in his eyes. He wanted to ask something, but Chloe whimpered again. "Daniel, I hurt so bad. Am I going to die?" Daniel's brow tightened. "Evelyn, I'll thank you on Chloe's behalf." I smiled, my eyes serene. "No need to thank me. Just come home tomorrow. I have something to tell you." "Okay." Daniel agreed readily, then left without looking back. But I immediately dialed a number. "Help me look up someone." "Chloe." Half an hour later, a new email arrived. Opening it and seeing the numerous photos inside, I smiled, with pity for Daniel. I slept soundly. The next morning, I went straight to City Hall Registrar and obtained my divorce certificate. But as soon as I got home to grab my suitcase, I heard Daniel's parents' voices through the door. "That woman Evelyn, even pregnant, is nothing but trouble." William cursed me in the living room. "Chloe isn't a mistress. She's carrying our family's child. What if she hurts it?" Margaret echoed. You need to keep Evelyn in line from now on. Stop all the fuss. Neither of their pregnancies can have any mishaps. Whoever can bear a son will be the daughter-in-law our family acknowledges. Do you hear?" Poking my phone through the door crack, I saw Margaret's shrewd, calculating expression. What if both are sons? Daniel sat casually on the sofa, looking calm. Hearing both are sons, Margaret's eyes filled with joy. She slapped Daniel's arm. Silly boy. Then of course we'll want both of them. Saying this, Margaret called Chloe, who was busy in the kitchen, and coaxed her, look, you're pregnant, and I truly like you. Are you willing to marry Daniel? Then we'll have him take you abroad to get married. Evelyn won't know, and you two will be so happy together. Watching and Chloe exchange meaningful glances after Margaret spoke, I burst into bitter laughter. His son cheated, and his parents condoned bigamy. This family was truly outrageous. I pursed my lips in admiration, then kicked open the door. The three in the living room froze. I turned to get my suitcase, but Daniel grabbed me. Evelyn, Mom and Dad heard you were pregnant and came specifically to see you. Don't be cold. Greet them. William let out a heavy snort. I heard you're using your pregnancy to make Daniel bring you food every day, acting so high and mighty. If you don't bear a son, you won't stay in our Shin family. Margaret gave me a harsh glare. With your attitude, you're a teacher? You don't even have Chloe's pleasing demeanor. I shouldn't have let Daniel marry you in the first place. I paused, then looked at them calmly. Then let's divorce. How far is it for them to get married abroad? Anyway, there's definitely no child in my belly, so it's a good way to legitimize Chloe's pregnancy. At my words, their eyes widened. Daniel's face turned ashen. Evelyn, you heard everything. He grabbed my hand fiercely, his pale face both defending and questioning. Mom was just joking earlier. What do you mean there's no child in your belly? Are you crazy from pregnancy? What nonsense are you talking about? Too tired to argue with them, I reached into my bag for the divorce certificate and abortion papers, but's eyes darted around. She grabbed me, putting on a show of distress. Sister, please don't say such angry things. 4. I'm willing to be the mistress, and we can both take care of him. Get lost. You're despicable, but don't drag me into it. I shot her a scornful glance and yanked my arm away, but the next second, Chloe collapsed to the ground with a thud, clutching her stomach and sobbing. Oh, my stomach. Daniel rushed to support her, then roared at me, Evelyn, you've gone too far. Even if you're pregnant, you shouldn't push Chloe. She's pregnant too. Hugging, he was filled with immense pity. She's willing to be the mistress. Why can't you just compromise? Can't we just live happily as a family of 5? Margaret also exclaimed in furious surprise. Exactly. Don't think you can walk all over us just because you're pregnant. After you have the child, get out of the Shin family and divorce Daniel. Saying this, she swung her hand to slap me, but the next second, Daniel blocked her. Mom! He let go of Chloe, stepped in front of me, then turned to defend me. I didn't say I'd divorce Evelyn. She won't agree. She's just emotionally unstable during pregnancy. She'll be fine after the baby is born. But I already had an abortion. Seeing their eyes instantly widen, I slapped the divorce certificate and abortion papers onto the table and spoke with a cold laugh. Daniel, we're already divorced. And I never intended to have your child. Daniel's expression instantly froze at my words. His eyes filled with disbelief. Margaret was also astonished. Evelyn, don't joke around. How is this possible? He gripped my shoulders tightly. How could we be divorced? How could you not want our child? Daniel finally found his voice, speaking tremblingly. Are you still angry? My mother didn't mean anything by it. I scoffed, looking into his eyes, and said word by word, Daniel, I never joke about things like this. I sent you the divorce papers a long time ago. Did you sign them without even looking? As for the abortion, it was that day you abandoned me to bring Chloe overnight sanitary pads. You were with your precious Chloe while I went to the hospital alone. Impossible. You're trying to make me angry, aren't you? I disgustedly slapped his hand away, taking a few steps back to create distance between us. Daniel, it's over between us. It ended the moment you and Chloe got together. Margaret, like a lit firecracker, screamed, you wicked woman. Even if you don't want to be with Daniel anymore, you don't have to make up such lies to fool us. That could have been our precious grandson. How could you so cruelly kill him? Chloe huddled to the side, her eyes darting around, occasionally stealing glances at Daniel's reaction. Seeing make a scene now, she found her backing and also started to cry tearfully. Sister, even if you're angry with me, you shouldn't take it out on the baby. That was yours and Daniel's flesh and blood. Daniel's body swayed, his eyes filled with pain and remorse, his hands falling limply to his sides. Evelyn, wait. Can we talk this over? Daniel caught up, grabbing my arm, his eyes full of pleading. I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. Please give me another chance. Okay? I forcefully shook off his hand, saying in disgust, "Daniel, the moment you brought Chloe home, it was over between us. Don't you want to be with her? Then go live happily with her and stop bothering me." Daniel's shouts and Margaret's curses echoed behind me, but I no longer cared. After leaving home, I moved into a small apartment and began to redesign my life. My life gradually got back on track, and Daniel and his family slowly faded from my life. However, Daniel didn't intend to let me go. He started calling and texting me frequently, apologizing and begging for my forgiveness. He even waited for me at school. Every time he saw me, he would chase after me like a whimpering puppy. "Evelyn, I beg you, please give me one more chance. I've truly cut all ties with Chloe, and you're the only one I love." Daniel would say this every time he saw me. I would look at him coldly each time, unmoved. "Daniel, can't you have some self-respect? We're divorced. Stop bothering my life." But seemed determined to win me back. He began a frantic pursuit. He would bring me flowers every day, deliver takeout when I worked late, and wait outside my apartment when I was sick. Once, I fainted in the office from overwork. Daniel, having gotten the news from somewhere, rushed to the hospital immediately. He stayed by my bedside all night, sleepless. When I woke up, I saw him sitting by the bed, his face exhausted, his eyes full of concern. "Evelyn, you're finally awake. Do you know how worried I was about you?" I looked at him, feeling no shred of emotion, only annoyance. "Daniel, what exactly do you want? I've made it very clear. We can't be together again." Daniel's eyes dimmed. He was silent for a moment, then suddenly knelt by my bed. "Evelyn, I know I wronged you before. I was a bastard, not a human being, but believe me, I've truly reformed. Please, just give me one more chance." As he spoke, tears streamed down his face. I looked at him kneeling on the floor, feeling no pity. Once, I had cried countless times for him, but he had never cared about my feelings. "Daniel, get up. Your tears mean nothing to me anymore," I said calmly. "It's over between us. Don't cling to it anymore." The next day, Daniel still came downstairs to my apartment with a bouquet of flowers. Seeing me leave, he smiled and came closer. "Evelyn, are you still angry? These are your favorite daisies. I woke up early and went to the flower market just to get them for you. You always said you liked a certain Thai restaurant. Today, I'll take you to try it." As he spoke, he reached to take my hand and lead me to his car. I shook his hand away, looking impatient. "What exactly do you want? We have no relationship now. If you dare to harass me again, I'll call the police and have you arrested." Daniel stepped back and opened the trunk. Inside was a Pomeranian puppy. "Look, you always wanted a little dog, didn't you? It was all because of my germophobia, but now I've overcome it for you. We can get a dog. I just ask that you give me one more chance. Can we start over?" Daniel's frantic pursuit of me, on the other hand, brought Chloe extreme insecurity. That day, when I went out, flyers and reporters lurking in the corner swarmed me instantly. "So this is the mistress. How shameless. The original wife was pregnant, and she still seduced her husband." I understood immediately and directly sent the photos of Chloe working as an escort that my private investigator had collected. "I warn you, wife, if you dare to have someone harass me again, I can't guarantee where these photos will appear next." Daniel showed up worried, but I refused to let him in. I had already chosen to report these matters to the police and didn't need his concern. The next day, I boarded a flight to a different region, starting my volunteer teaching program. After I left, Daniel waited outside my home for several days. Even after a neighbor told him I had gone far away, he remained dazed and confused, refusing to believe I had left. Almost every day, he would sit drunk downstairs from my home. He even got drunk at the bar every night because of me. But no matter what, he couldn't get a single piece of news about me. Chloe, however, stayed by his side faithfully. The child was successfully born a boy, and the two married with the Shin family's encouragement, but always held Chloe's past against her. He resented Chloe's appearance for destroying his family. He hated Chloe for causing my departure, so he neglected her. Meanwhile, my day's volunteer teaching program in a rural town were very fulfilling. I shone in my profession, bringing my skills as much as possible to the people there. During this time, I met Lucas, also a volunteer teacher. He was gentle and meticulous, possessing all good qualities, so we naturally got together. 3 years later, We returned to our hometown to hold our wedding. We also attended an award ceremony for rural educators, where I unexpectedly encountered the two people I least wanted to see in this lifetime. After the banquet, Daniel rushed out and grabbed my hand. Looking at his anxious face, I was even more confused. "Let go of me. If you don't let go, I'll call the police." He stared at me mournfully. "Evelyn, how could you leave me without a word? Do you know how much I've missed you all these years? I missed you so much I couldn't eat or sleep. Your image was in my mind every waking moment." Saying this, he started to move forward to hug me again. Suddenly, Chloe's angry shriek came from behind us. "Evelyn, you crazy woman. You just came back and you're trying to seduce my man? Today, I'm going to make you taste my slap." Saying this, she reached out to slap my face. I scoffed, grabbing her wrist. "What I didn't want before, I won't want now either. I advise you to put a leash on your husband, lest he jump on people." Daniel stood by, his face ashen, holding back the frantic Chloe. "Enough! What kind of crazy fit are you having now? This has nothing to do with Evelyn." Chloe, being restrained, became even more furious. She sat on the ground, throwing a tantrum and drawing a crowd. "Everyone, come see! My husband's ex-wife came back specifically to steal my husband. My child is only 3 years old, and he can't be without a dad. What a shame! Everyone, come see this homewrecker." Instantly, everyone in the banquet hall was drawn out. Many people pointed at me and whispered, "That person seems to be Daniel's ex-wife. I heard she abandoned him for her career. Did things not work out, so she came crawling back? Does someone like that even deserve to be at our banquet? Truly, one bad apple spoils the bunch." I coldly looked up at Daniel, giving a scornful laugh. "Daniel, it seems I underestimated your level of shamelessness. This is how you've been talking about me all these years I've been gone." Daniel said nothing, a hint of threat in his eyes. "As long as you consider getting back together with me, I'll make sure all these rumors and gossip are thoroughly taken care of." Just then, a commotion erupted in the crowd. Lucas walked toward me from the throng, wrapping an arm around my waist. He cast a cold glance at Daniel. "Who do you think you are? Who's that? So arrogant?" The other guests nearby then lowered their voices, whispering amongst themselves. "That's Lucas, the eldest son of the group conglomerate, and also the main organizer of this grand banquet. It seems the true protagonist of this banquet isn't anyone else, but the highly anticipated mess, Evelyn." The low murmurs and whispers of the crowd clearly reached Daniel's ears. Hearing these words, his body swayed involuntarily, nearly losing his balance and falling to the ground, staring intently at Lucas's hand around my waist. His eyes instantly reddened. "Evelyn, how could you betray our solemn vows and everlasting, faithful love for a few sweet words from someone else? Have you forgotten we once swore to spend our lives together? I waited for you for 3 whole years. During these 3 years, I thought of you every waking moment. But you, how could you so easily get with someone else?" After saying this, he angrily turned to Lucas. "You must have used some means to force Evelyn to be with you. I don't believe she would genuinely like you. An empty-headed, spendthrift rich boy. Don't you know she's my ex-wife? Don't you care at all that she once carried my child? That we had such deep ties?" As he spoke, Daniel's expression grew increasingly manic. His face twisted in a snarl, gritting his teeth as he lunged to attack Lucas. "You bastard. Give me back my wife, or I'll never forgive you." Faced with Daniel's frantic actions, Lucas calmly kicked him, sending Daniel sprawling to the ground. "Get these 2 lunatics out of here." As soon as he spoke, security guards quickly moved, grabbing both their arms. Daniel, however, remained unwilling to give up, struggling and shouting loudly. Lucas, composed, presented the significant achievements we had made as volunteer teaching program teachers in a rural town. He showcased the students' excellent academic results and grateful letters from local students. Everyone nodded in approval. However, Daniel, still unwilling to give up, spared no effort in trying to find out about me. This behavior eventually escalated into harassment, leading to his imprisonment and a period of detention. By the time he walked out of the prison gates, Lucas and I had already left for abroad, starting a brand new life. Later, when I heard news of Daniel again, it was a shocking tragedy. He had set fire to his entire family, killing them. Due to a complete mental breakdown, he was eventually diagnosed with schizophrenia and institutionalized in a mental institution for long-term treatment and supervision. At this time, I was nestled in Lucas's warm embrace, our love's fruit growing in my belly, feeling the stirrings of a new life soon to arrive. Together, we gazed at the brilliant sunset in the sky, our hearts filled with anticipation and hope for the future. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any thoughts about this story, feel free to share them in the comments section. Here is Roses and Love, sharing stories about marriage and women every day. See you tomorrow.